We're talking about needing some important points to finish the race. He is second in the championship after coming in leading that title chase in the AMA Pro Supersport East Division. And as the riders are now being sort of left by their crew members out there on the grid by themselves in very, very short order, the tire warmers will come off and they will indeed be all alone. They'll head out for their warm-up lap. And then it'll be 17 laps of racing here on the Barber Motorsports Park layout. Continuing to introduce the field to you on row number 7 outside, number 505, Justin Nera from Cincinnati, Ohio on a Kawasaki ZX6, and number 77, Eric Stump from Berlin, New Jersey on the eyeballnewyorkcity.com Mark Built Race Bikes, number 77. Brian Vandenbroek, Brian Van from Shelby Township, Michigan, gave away a Bell helmet yesterday during our fan walk on his sportbiketrackgear.com, number 148. And then next to him on the inside is Connor Blevins, number 33 from Noble, Oklahoma, also on a Kawasaki with Excel Racing and Leo Vinci sponsorship. Moving up to row number 6 from Chandler, Arizona, and on a Kawasaki, the Rocco Racing number 210, Rocco Horvath, beside number 610, from Wake Forest, North Carolina, Royal Purple Yamaha Russell Proctor. Miles Thornton from West Point, Georgia on the number 72 Yamaha YZF-R6. Mark Built Race Bikes, A&J Screen Printers on that machine. And it's Brandon Cleland inside row number 6 on the pole of that row. Number 75 from Houston, Texas, P1 Racing, South Central Race Center sponsored Yamaha. Up to row number 5, number 314 from Bonita Springs, Florida on a Suzuki GSX-R 600, Diamond Drywall and Glass on the bodywork for Charlie Long, number 314. Fremont, Ohio is home to the Celtic Racing Fast by Faraci, number 81 of Brad Graham. Next to number 44 from Marietta, Georgia, the Yamaha YES Yamaha Power Sports, number 44, it's Sam Nash. On the inside of row number 5, Travis Ogie from Aurora, Oregon on the Yamaha YZF-R6. He's racing in the Jake Holden Racing tent with Cortec Leather sponsorship. Up to row number 4 as the bikes leave the track for their warm-up lap. Ryan Kerr out of Johnstown, Ohio on the number 28 Kawasaki ZX6 RFC and Digital Impressions. Number 50, it's Emerson Connor from Burlington, Ontario, Canada on a Ducati 848, sponsorship from the Duck Shop out of Atlanta, out of Marietta, Georgia, with Spiegler Arai Pilot and a bunch of other sponsors. Emerson Connor looking for a good run here today after a tough outing yesterday. 394 out of Greenwood is James Dellinger on a Suzuki GSX-R 600. He's on a Vesra Suzuki, and next to Jeff Roble from Cincinnati, Ohio, the Sport Bike Track Gear Yamaha, number 63. Up to row number 3, where it is number 34, Jake Mormon from Loganville, Georgia, the Schwann School Marietta Motorsport sponsorship on his Yamaha, number 34. Jake Mormon finishing 4th yesterday, alongside former Super Sport champion Ricky Parker from Stanley, Louisiana, a Yamaha CS Corey-sponsored Yamaha. And Hayden Gillum, number 69 from Owensboro, Kentucky. He's on a Honda CBR 600. Bell Helmets, Technic Leather sponsorship for him. He's a championship contender as well. And Stefano Mesa in the 9th starting position on the number 37 out of Boca Raton, Florida. He's on a Ducati 848, Rada Racing entry. We heard from Tomas Puerta, number 12 out of Medellin, Colombia on the LTD Yamaha YES-sponsored YZF-R6. Looking for a much better day here today after colliding with a teammate yesterday. Dustin Dominguez on the number 68 Triumph Daytona 675, latest Motors Racing entry. And then it was Davide Gaviria who collided with Tomas Puerta, 2 teammates taking each other out, also looking for a better day here today on the number 700. Number 21, Elena Myers, finished 3rd yesterday on her Suzuki Scoop Fans M4 Racing GSX-R 600, and you heard her looking for the win today. We heard from Corey Alexander, number 5, out of Carmel, New York. He's on the Vesra Suzuki. Benny Solis, yesterday's winner on the number 35 Red Bull RoadRacingWorld.com Arian Racing Honda. Then number 24, sitting in the number 2 spot from Macedon, New York, Harv's Harley-Davidson sponsored Yamaha YZF-R6, Travis Wyman, and our pole sitter, the Rocket Boy, James Rispoli out of Attica, New York. AntRacing.com Star School, number 43, they're ready to go. Beth Miller walking off the grid with the red flag. The lights are on, the lights will go out. Watch everybody to see if we get a good clean start. Corey Alexander, great start, didn't jump it this time. He took off with everybody else, but it's James Rispoli from the pole into turn number 1 with the lead. down into turn number 2. It's still Rispoli. He's got one of those red and white machines right behind him, the LTD bikes. Let's see who that is, but it's Rispoli out in front right now. Could be Puerta with a great start, looking to redeem himself a bit from yesterday, and that's exactly who it is. Davide Gaviria on the number 700 LTD racing bike is sitting in second spot.
As the riders go up towards the museum, they got the museum right in front of them. They'll be coming around towards the museum. We see the museum in the backyard, in the background, and it will be the leader, Rispoli, into the turn first time down the Alabama roller coaster. It will be Rispoli, number 43, with the lead. As they head towards the infield section, we'll see him come down the back straightaway shortly. Rispoli with a good lead on his Suzuki. We see Solis is back about 4th position. Elena Myers back about 6th position as she tries to work her way through the field.
3rd position is number 24, Travis Wyman. Behind him, it is Elena Myers in 4th. And, somebody's down and out among the leaders as on the outside of the turn as they come into view. It is one of the LTD racing entries. It is Gaviria, number 700, Davide Gaviria. And for the second day in a row, Gaviria finds himself walking away from a crashed machine and an early exit to the race here today. Tough break once again for the young Colombian rider on his team LTD Yamaha. For the second day in a row, he's going to be a spectator when this one flags at the end of 17 laps.
Big gap for the leader. He's got about 15 bike lengths. James Rispoli is currently got a lead. Second place is Wyman, Tyler Wyman on the number 24, the all-white motorcycle. Was running in that second position, but he's been overtaken. Elena Myers now runs up in the 3rd position. Wyman back to 4th as he got sucked up by 2 riders. Myers back in that 3rd place position. She led 2 laps yesterday.
Solis in the runner-up spot right now, but that huge gap opening up when second place runner Gaviria jumped off his number 700 machine. So these riders, starting with Benny Solis, have got some work to do to chase down the pole sitter and current leader James Rispoli. Elena Myers tucking in behind Solis, and Wyman on the number 24 doing the same behind the 21 bike of Myers.
Myers holding off Wyman. Wyman with a good starting position. Started second on the grid. He was next to pole and is now still in the top 4. He had a tough day yesterday. He crashed in the Harley race, and he's going to try to keep it on the rubber for the entire race here. Up front, it's still James Rispoli. He's got a sizable lead. Looks like it's about a second and a half, maybe 2 seconds over the second place battle with 3 riders going after it.
Going a little bit further back, Tomas Puerta on the number 12 machine sits in 5th spot. He's got lots of company with Stefano Mesa, Corey Alexander, and Hayden Gillum all right there. Dustin Dominguez on the Triumph a little bit further back than that. But boy, this is going to be a tight race up front. That big gap opened up by the exit of Gaviria. But Rispoli is going to try to make the best of it out there. From the pole, he knows he can cut those fast laps. He's going to have to do quite a few of them because these young riders are very hungry, chasing after him right now, and there's plenty of them to take up that chase.
Tire management, strength management is all part of this game. They've got 21 laps on this grueling course, 14 turns and 2.38 miles. Rispoli now with about almost a second half lead over Solis. Benny Solis run that second position. Elena Myers back in 3rd, 2 seconds off the lead. Tyler Wyman at 2.8 seconds back, and Puerta with 4.4 seconds back. He didn't make it past the first lap yesterday, but he's in the solid top 5 position on the number 12 machine.
Hayden Gillum leading a big charge of riders back there for the 5th place battle right now. As we said, Rispoli's all alone, about a second and a half lead. Elena Myers a little bit back from Benny Solis. And Travis Wyman, he's pretty much by himself, but it's Hayden Gillum on the number 69 machine starting to edge away a little bit from Tomas Puerta and from the rest of Stefano Mesa, Corey Alexander, the riders that are with him.
One of those riders that's been improving all weekend long has been Hayden Gillum, number 69. He struggled in the setup, struggled in the qualifying, but now he's running the tops in a solid top 5 position as they come down towards the line. It's Rispoli, Solis, Myers, Wyman, and Gillum in your top 5. Puerta outside the top 5. Corey Alexander 7th. Mesa is 8th. 9th is Dominguez. 10th is Parker.
Benny Solis eating into the lead of James Rispoli once he got clear of some traffic that he was around. He has put his head down. Yesterday, of course, he extended out his lead and was able to pick up the win. After 17 laps, he had a 5-second advantage over Rispoli. So today it's Rispoli out front and Solis trying to chase him down. He's closed the gap to less than a second as they came by. Elena Myers by herself about a little over a second behind Solis and almost a little less than a second in front of Travis Wyman. Now Corey Alexander takes over the front of a 3-rider battle, but Hayden Gillum has left those guys and he is heading out after Travis Wyman. Gillum currently in 5th position, but he's looking for more.
The leaders heading down to 11, 12, and 13 on the backside of the course. They'll be coming up in front of the pit entrance shortly, but up front it is Rispoli, number 43, Suzuki Solis on the Honda number 35, and Myers, another Suzuki on the number 21. As they continue to work this race, it's a 21-lap race. We have got 14 to go, 17 laps.
17 laps for the Super Sport class, 21 laps for Daytona Sport Bike and Superbike coming up a little bit later on. We are far from the end of racing here today. This is just our second final of the afternoon here on Father's Day at Barber Motorsports Park. And Benny Solis has closed up to the back wheel of James Rispoli. Rispoli putting his head down and trying to keep the pace, but Solis is just that much quicker out here today on the Barber Motorsports Park surface. So now we have 2 riders battling for the lead, but so far it is still James Rispoli out in front. Again, Rispoli is leading the championship in the Supersport East division, while Benny Solis sits second in the Supersport West championship. But at the end of the year, the rider who scores the most points in either division will be declared the overall champion. So while this is a battle of 2 riders in different divisions, it is a battle for the overall championship as well as a fight for the win here at Barber Motorsports Park.
Terrific battle up front between Rispoli and Solis. Benny Solis is right behind him. He's closed up within a bike length. He's won 2 races out west. He won yesterday here, so he's got 3 wins under his belt. He had 1 crash and DNF at Miller Motorsports Park, but Benny Solis is definitely the man to contend with at the front of this race. Number 43, Rispoli, is trying to hold him off, but the heat of Benny Solis is right there as they pass the pit in out at turn 13, 14. They'll be coming down the front straightaway. Solis pulls up within a bike length as they head down the front straightaway. Solis tucks in behind trying to find the draft. Will he pull out at the stripe? No, he won't pull out at the stripe. He goes to the inside, then he settles back in turn 1.
So Rispoli continues to hold the advantage among the leaders. Elena Myers now almost 3 seconds behind the leaders, and she's going to come under attack from Travis Wyman here pretty soon. He's only a half second behind her. Hayden Gillum has left Corey Alexander, Tomas Puerta, and Dustin Dominguez behind. And then Ricky Parker, Stefano Mesa, they have closed up into that battle. Leaders up front, yeah, it's really tight up front.
Leaders coming out of 4. Solis pulls up to the inside, can't make it stick, settles back behind Rispoli. He's using the draft to keep up with him. He's looking for that opportunity to get around, waiting for a mistake from James Rispoli. Rispoli trying to hold off Solis and make him to make a mistake, but these 2 guys have been nose to tail, wire to wire. We see that look over the left shoulder by Rispoli as he's looking for Solis. Yep, he's right there behind him as they work their way through the infield. Up by the museum, they're going to come down the back straightaway, and big horsepower needed to get down that straightaway the quickest as possible.
Just behind the 2 leaders, we've got a pair right now as Elena Myers is just narrowly in front of Travis Wyman, and Hayden Gillum is lurking in the background. He has really closed the gap. Solis with the fastest lap of the race, 1:31.67, but Hayden Gillum at a 1:31.869 isn't far behind him. Gillum is really charging forward and could be joining Wyman and Elena Myers in a 3-way battle for the final spot on the podium.
Leaders going into turn number 1, a bike length apart. Solis right behind Rispoli. Rispoli having a much better day today than he did yesterday. He has been almost perfect in this race, not making any errors, got a good started from pole position. Benny Solis started from the 3rd place position, worked his way up from about a 4th place start to run in 2nd position. Trying to pull to the inside, Rispoli puts out that left foot. They make that left-hand turn. Going into turn number 4, they get past Charlotte's Web, no problem. Clear track ahead of them, no lap traffic as we work with 11 laps to go.
We had a rider off in turn 7, Joseph Calabro, on the number 39 machine. But yesterday, James Rispoli led the first 3 laps. Elena Myers took over the front for 2 laps, then Rispoli for 3 more. But at lap number 9, Benny Solis took off, gained a half-second advantage, and by the time he got to the stripe, it was 5 seconds in front of Rispoli. But today, these two have battled all the way, with Solis catching Rispoli, who got away to an early lead. And now they are battling right together. Elena Myers still leading a trio now of riders as both Wyman and Hayden Gillum have closed up on the back of the number 21 SuzukiScoopFans.com entry of Elena Myers. But she's still got the point of the 3 of them right now for that final spot on the podium. She earned it all by herself yesterday, but today she's going to have to fight mighty hard with a couple of the guys.
Meanwhile, up front, it's still a great battle between number 43 Rispoli and 35 Benny Solis.
Rispoli, Solis, then Elena Myers, Travis Wyman, Hayden Gillum. Looking back down the order, Jake Mormon, who finished 4th yesterday and was looking, he said, I'm going for the win here today. Well, it's not working out for him. He's clear back in 17th position. Must have gotten tied up near the start somewhere, and something has gone sideways for Jake Mormon on the number 34 Marietta Motorsports entry. But wow, what a battle we've got going on up front. Stefano Mesa moving up a spot into 7th there on his Ducati. He's leading a 4-way battle right now with Tomas Puerta, Dustin Dominguez, and Ricky Parker. We've still got Corey Alexander all by himself right now. He has left Stefano Mesa, but Mesa leading a 4-way battle for position as James Rispoli and Benny Solis still battling for that front spot. Solis has not shown him a wheel, but this might be the first opportunity. Not yet. Solis is just patiently waiting back there to see if he can find any kind of weakness in Rocket Boy's game, but Rispoli's not showing him any weakness at all so far.
Terrific battle up front. Solis goes to the outside, tried to make a way around the leader, James Rispoli, but he couldn't make it stick. Solis running in that 2nd place position most of the race. We've got 10 laps to go in this race. We haven't got quite to halfway flags, and these 2 guys up front have made quite a race of it. As we were down to 9 laps to go, they just go into turn 1. Solis still right behind him, trying to look to the outside, tried to look to the inside, but it looks like Rispoli has taken the perfect line around this racetrack. Benny Solis knows that there's no advantage he can pick up at this point. He led most of the race yesterday on the number 35, Benny Solis, but now it looks like they may be in lap traffic, maybe halfway, another 2 or 3 laps. Going through turn number 4, it's still Rispoli, Solis trying to make the advantage coming out of 4. He holds about a 2-bike length lead as they head down towards the museum turn.
Rispoli, former dirt tracker, has certainly adapted a very smooth road racing style. All hung out and sideways works when you're dirt tracking, throwing it into the turns with no brakes. But here you got to be smooth, you got to be solid on the machine. And we've got another faller out there on the racetrack. Bike number Travis Wyman, number 24, has exited the race apparently. We'll have to confirm that with race control. It is number 24, Travis Wyman, being escorted off and behind the barriers by the corner workers. So Travis Wyman's run of bad luck continues here as he was unable to finish the race yesterday.
He just moved into 3rd place position and then crashed. So he crashed out of 3rd place after getting around Elena Myers. Meanwhile, the leaders come up to the stripe. It is still Rispoli with the lead over Benny Solis as they head into turn number 1. Wyman made the move into 3rd, but he crashed as soon as he got into 3rd. Myers goes back to 3rd after the crash by Wyman.
Apparently, Elena Myers was checked up a little bit, and Hayden Gillum found a way around. He ran 3rd as they crossed the start-finish line stripe. So Hayden Gillum, who finished yesterday's race in 5th position, looking for more here today. He's got a battle with Elena Myers going for the number 3 spot and the final stand on the podium. There they go into turn number 4. Gillum on the darker blue machine just in front of Elena Myers, and they've got Corey Alexander hunting them down right now on the yellow Vezra Suzuki. Alexander not nearly close enough right now to call it a 3-way battle, but as they head down towards the turn 7A and 7B Museum Alabama coaster, it's Hayden Gillum who has caught and passed Elena Myers, turning some extremely quick laps along the way. Elena Myers trying to hang with Gillum right now And her best lap at 1:31.759 isn't the fastest of the race like she set yesterday, but she's cooking around the racetrack right now trying to hold on to a top 4 spot.
Yeah, Wyman crashed in this similar spot that he did when he crashed in the Harley race. Well, that was the Harley crash that they showed, but tough day for him. He's been in 3 races and had 3 crashes, hasn't finished one yet this weekend. He crashed yesterday in the Supersport race, the Harley race today. The leaders coming down, lapping our rider, the fantasy rider out of Michigan. Leaders come across the stripe with 7 to go.
What a great job Dennis Ergo did. He was so happy just to have qualified for the field, and then with some attrition and a good hard ride by himself, finished in 20th spot yesterday, a top 20 finish in his AMA Pro Racing debut at age 56. Not a bad job for the man we're calling our fantasy rider here on Father's Day at Barber Motorsports Park. Maybe he can even better that.
Yeah, he was all smiles this morning, thought it was one of the greatest things he's ever done, and he was thrilled to get 20th position and a point in his first race. It took him 3 or 4 races to qualify, but once he qualified, he's definitely got the bug.
What a difference a day makes. Yesterday, based on yesterday's result and the outstanding performance by Benny Solis, we would have said that once he caught James Rispoli, he'd be checked out and gone, but instead, Rispoli has led every lap, and if Solis has got anything for him, he hasn't shown it yet. James Rispoli has absolutely been completely untouched, unfettered by all the pressure being put on him by Solis. Yesterday's winner is right on his tailpipe, but Rispoli is riding like he's all alone out there on the racetrack, just hitting his marks, following his lines, doing a good job. Not exactly defensive riding. He's not really defending that lead just yet. As they got into traffic, though, he took a good long look at Dennis Ergo before he went by. Solis tried to go through the inside and actually grabbed the lead briefly when they came up on Dennis Ergo. That was yesterday, and that was really the move that put Benny Solis out front. That was a day ago, but today they came up on Dennis Ergo again. Rispoli held on to the lead, and he's still got it right now.
Yeah, we talked to Benny Solis just before the start of the race, and he says this heat is really getting to him. He's not used to the heat. It's a hot day. It's a muggy day out there on the racetrack, much warmer than yesterday. The breeze is a little bit stronger than yesterday, so Benny Solis making some adjustments as he tries to get to the inside. He can't make it stick. So Benny Solis has been, I don't think he's real content to fall in second position, but he tries to go the inside, using every inch of the racetrack, trying to get to the inside. He goes to the outside, comes back to the inside. Benny Solis trying every trick in the book, trying to get around him as they go into the museum turn.
Cutting across the curb, straight lining that turn 7A and B. They can jump across the concrete curb, but can't. They are not allowed to go into the dirt, or they will be assessed a penalty for shortcutting the course. But the riders learned pretty quickly after Barber Motorsports Park became a venue on the AMA Pro Racing circuit that the quick way down the Alabama coaster was to jump up and over that curb. And since then, just about everybody does it, trying to get a straighter line through there. Stefano Mesa from Boca Raton, Florida, his Ducati 848, a mechanical problem. He's pulled outside the racetrack in turn number 7, so we've lost another one of our great contenders. He was running in 7th position and is now out of the race.
Five laps to go in this terrific battle in the MotorcycleSuperstore.com Supersport Final, the last race of the weekend for these young riders. 3 races to go, or 2 races to go after this. We got Daytona
New leader, as Benny Solis took advantage of James Rispoli running just a little bit wide, stuffed it up inside. Nothing Rispoli could do but stand the bike up a little bit and watch Benny Solis go by. So Benny Solis is out in front right now, but Rispoli's not going to let him go like he did yesterday. He's right behind that Honda, that Arian Racing, RoadRacingWorld.com Honda of Solis. But Solis now looks like he was waiting. He was waiting for an opportunity as they go into the museum turn. It's advantage Solis. He jumps the curb. Rispoli's right behind him. But what a great move that was. Rispoli just a little tiny bit wide, opened the door. Solis barged right through it.
Yeah, he opened the door a little bit. Solis just snuck underneath him. It was so tight. He may have brushed the rider. They're side by side going down into the next turn, and Rispoli takes back the lead. Solis goes to the outside. Solis trying to catch him back on the inside, and Rispoli, like you said, was not going to let it go lightly. He got back around Solis, and he's put about 3 bike lengths between them as they head into pit in. That's at the far side of the racetrack, down by 12, 13, and 14, and we'll see him coming down the front straightaway. But Rispoli said he responded with an attack shortly after. He did not regain his breath. He went back after him, and he's got the lead coming to the stripe, and that stripe he will lead every lap so far in this race.
And I believe it was in the same turn that he lost the lead. He paid back the favor on Benny Solis, but he went around the outside, setting it up in the second corner, coming back the other way, crossing wheel paths and taking the lead back. At 4 laps to go, your leader once again is James Rocket Boy Rispoli. Now again, keep in mind that they're racing in separate divisions in terms of the points that they score, but there is an overall champion to be declared at the end of the year, the rider who scores the most points. For Rispoli, the pole point was all important, leading the most laps. He's already done that, so he's picked up a couple of bonus points. Now he wants the big ones, and he wants to stand on top of the box when it's time to celebrate in victory lane.
Yeah, standing on the top of the box is always important. It's the highlight of the career. Every top of the box is a special moment for these riders. Rispoli looks over that left shoulder. He sees Solis there. He knows he's still there. He can feel him. He feels the pressure. It'll be interesting to see if he can hold him off for another, 3.5 laps before this race is complete. The riders are on the final stages of the race. Less than 4 laps to go, about 3.25 laps to go as we see these riders just rocketing throughout this race course. A terrific battle in this Barber Superbike Classic weekend. A salute to the men and women of the Alabama National Guard.
Boy, Hayden Gillum has got to get the ride of the day today. We gave it to Jake Mormon yesterday, but Gillum has come from way back to catch and pass Elena Myers for 3rd. Corey Alexander has also passed Elena Myers. She's getting shuffled back to 5th position, but Hayden Gillum has opened a 4-second gap in his bid to be the 3rd rider to stand on the podium with James Rispoli and Benny Solis. Assuming those two make it all the way to the checkered flag, Hayden Gillum has done a super job to get himself up there. It's going to be a little too far back to try to catch the leaders, 8.8 seconds as he crosses the line. But Hayden Gillum doing a great job on that number 69
Solis goes
entry.
for the lead. He goes to the inside. He can't make it stick. James Rispoli puts out that leg going into the turn like the GP riders are starting to do. And Solis went for the inside, and he couldn't make it stick. He got up there, showed him a wheel, and Rispoli responded with enough action to keep the lead on the number 43.
So we are inside, 3 laps to go, about 2.5 as they exit the museum turn onto the back straightaway. Rispoli tucking down behind the bubble, squaring himself up on the motorcycle, heading through the little kink in the middle of the backstretch. And as they exit, he goes all the way out onto the curb. Benny Solis still falling in line. He's tried quite a few different moves, and only one actually worked to get the lead. And then the very next time around, Rispoli repaid him in the same corner, jumped around and to take the front again. So Elena Myers runs in 5th position. Dustin Dominguez has got a narrow lead over Ricky Parker and Thomas Puerta. Those 3 are battling over 6th, 7th, and 8th spot. James Dellinger by himself in 9th. Ben Young by himself in 10th.
A little bit of a wobble out of the number 43. Rispoli cut a little bit of a wobble coming out of 14. Lost a little bit of his drive. Solis did catch him a little bit, but not enough bobble to allow Solis to get around as they head into turn number 2. Hard right-hand turn. Now lap traffic ahead of him. Lap traffic played a part yesterday. Will it play a part again today?
Well, hard to say. Only one rider, and they're catching him on a straightaway, so that isn't going to be a factor at all. James Rispoli dangling that leg out there. Finally got kind of the definitive answer, and it came from Kevin Schwantz on what this leg dangle thing is all about. It seems to be in an effort. They've always said that you put your weight on the outside peg going through a corner, and apparently the riders, maybe not beginning with Valentino Rossi, but he certainly made it the most famous. They'll hang that inside leg off to make sure that their weight is on the outside foot peg, which will keep that bike planted rather than tending for it to slide out. So Rispoli using every trick in the book to stay in front of Benny Solis, including one made popular by MotoGP racers. He's learned the technique well, and it's standing him in good stead so far.
Nose to tail, it's Rispoli and Solis. They've been a terrific battle for the entire race. Early stages of the race, it took Solis a while to catch up with him, a couple of laps, but once he caught him, these guys have had just a terrific battle up front as they've been nose to tail. Solis did get the lead momentarily, but Rispoli responded back with a pass. They're going to get the white flag this time by. They're heading for the stripe. It's 1 lap to go. It could be the money lap.
Tip of the hat to Ben Young, too. 25th place finish yesterday. All kinds of problems for the Thornbury, Ontario, Canada rider. And today, though, he's running in the top 10, more like where we would expect to see that young man. He's pitted right at the top of the stairs here, going up onto tier number 2. And just about every time we walk up there, he's got a big smile on his face, got his dad up there working with him. Happy Father's Day to Ben's dad as well. But James Rispoli, his dad's here with him as always, and he's going to try to have a happy Father's Day. Well, of course, Benito Solis, his dad Benny is always his biggest supporter. But on the final lap of this one, it's going to go to the wire. They're in the museum term. Solis has a notion to look inside, but Rispoli straight lines it again, jumps over the curb, not giving him any opportunities. The one and only chance that Solis had to take the lead, he did. But since then, it's been all James Rispoli from start to finish. Can he hold on for this last few turns to see if he can pick up that win? And with that win, it would be his first of the season. Rispoli with a 7th place finish at Daytona and 3rd, then a runner-up finish here yesterday. He's going for the big number 1 here on his 43 Ant Racing Suzuki.
Solis now dropping back about 3 bike lengths as they hit the pit exit turn, and they are in turn 13, 14. Solis right there behind him. He's going to try to get the draft coming down the front straightaway to see how the gearing plays out. They're nose to tail. Solis is still hanging back. He has not found a way to get in the draft, and it will be James Rispoli if they can hang on to it all the way to the finish line, and it will be the number 43 with the win. Solis will finish 2nd. 3rd will go to Hayden Gillum out of Kentucky. So Rispoli has a great race today and wins this event here at Barber Motorsports Park for the Barber Superbike Classic.
So our podium will be James Rispoli with his first win. Benny Solis in the runner-up spot today after winning yesterday. Hayden Gillum coming up from 5th yesterday to 3rd today, followed by Corey Alexander, backed up his 8th place finish even after a penalty yesterday with 4th today. Elena Myers narrowly beats Dustin Dominguez, Ricky Parker, and Tomas Puerta to the line to round out the top 5. But James Rocket Boy Rispoli is our winner, our Super Sport East Championship leader, and it's Happy Father's Day to Rocket Boy's dad on the top of the box. We'll be down there celebrating in Victory Lane. Join us, won't you?
Rispoli with the victory lap. He unzipped the leathers a little bit. One of the first things he did was shake hands with Benny Solis. They had a terrific battle out there in this 17-lap final here at Barber Motorsports Park. Rispoli waving to the fans as he goes around for the last time, and he's going to do a little bit of burnout on his motorcycle. He's shifted up through the gears. He's up to 4th gear on the burnout. He's having a big time out there with a smoky burnout with National Guard on the leathers. James Rispoli, the winner today in the MotorcycleSuperstore.com Supersport Final, a 17-lap affair that's just been a terrific battle. He pulls off and he's put up the sign that says Happy Father's Day. Before they started the race, he had a sign for the camera that says Happy Father's Day. So we'll salute all the fathers out there today with their sons and daughters.